Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam L, and this is Talk with the Titans. Oh, man. Let's get it in, family. Let's get it in. Tonight, Scholar Gang, where you at? Scholar Gang, Scholar Gang, Scholar Gang, gang. If you are part of the notification gang, let me know by hitting the thumbs up and let me know that you're part of the gang. We're going to definitely bring you guys on. So if you guys would like to come on today and actually have some talks with me, we're going to do that because I'm trying to do the show real quick, like 60 minutes. Bang, I'm done. You know what I mean? It's there. So let's try to get it popping. No 60-second man, but a 60-minute guy. Oh, man. So, yeah. You're not saying you can hear the sound, right? Let me know. Let me know. Double make sure that you definitely can hear the sound. All right, it looks like we can. All right, so family tree. Like, yeah, hit the share button, man. I know. Apologies for the whole, beginning bit, but we're live now. We're really live. So today I'm going to do a real quick show. I don't even want to spend too much time on this, so I want to do a real quick show. So the show title is actually, pure clickbait, because it says here, is Shamsi and Kalam still beefing, or is Kalam beefing? Like, are we beefing? Are me and Shamsi beefing right about now? And the answer to that is no, we're actually not beefing. You know what I mean? I'm actually not beefing my brother Shamsi. I refuse to beef my brother Shamsi over something like this, and I refuse to go in on my brother Shamsi over something like this. You know what I mean? Is there. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm gonna use this opportunity to be an educational teaching format where I can actually better explain the position of what we as Kemetics are actually saying, or we as people with rational thought or philosophical thought are actually saying. Hopefully I could even be representing other people as well, like naturalists, even atheists as well, can possibly get down with this, and other people within inside of other faiths as well, whether you're Jew or Christian. I'm pretty sure that most of you are agreeing with what the Kemetics are saying in terms of God, energy, universe, creation, and so forth and so forth. I think you lot get what we're saying, but unfortunately there's a few minority of individuals that don't get what we're saying, or even might be a majority of individuals that may not get what we're saying. And instead of me or anybody else actually attacking those people who don't get what we're saying, I would love to actually try to push forward a narrative, or push forward a proposition, or a reasoning, a syllogism, or so to speak, of what we actually think and how we come to those conclusions. How do we deduce that? So that's what I actually want to put forward today. And hopefully you're not going to learn something, innit? Hopefully you're not going to learn something. If not, I apologize, innit? But I'm trying my best. It's only me one, so I'm definitely going to get you guys to come onto the panel. So if you would like to join the panel, y'all know how to hit me up already. Hit me up and I'll get you guys on the panel, okay? So let's get it in. Let's get it in, family. Let's actually get it in. Let's see. Well, let me go and read through the comments real quickly. Gang. I see y'all going in. Okay. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this actually. I'm actually gonna do this. I'm actually gonna be kind of different today, and I'm actually gonna share the link with you, family. So you lot can kind of jump in and then we can get it popping. All right. Because I'm only gonna do a 60-minute show. So hopefully, we can get man like Phil in the building. We can get other brothers in the building as well. Who else is there? If Raspect is in there, SLM TV is in the building, all sorts, like SARS in the building, all the man. If we can get them in the building, that would be absolutely excellent. Okay, family, absolutely excellent. So let's get it popping, man. Let's actually get it popping, family. Let's actually get it popping. So, number one, we over here, like from the Kemetic side, definitely from like Gabs, myself, Sarah, I'm thinking who else has been spitting forth this narrative amongst people that definitely from Speaker's Corner. I don't really get to hear this conversation taking place in other forums at all. But definitely in our forum, we spit forward this narrative. We try to be inclusive by bringing in our brothers and sisters from the religious community. We spit forward the paradigm that, if there is everything that exists, is merely a transformation of energy, basically. It's merely a transformation of energy. And we put that in the realms of religion when we say, if all that exists is Allah, if all that exists is Allah, and something new or different comes into being, where did it come from? Clearly, it only could have come from Allah, because all substance, all energy, all mass, all matter, all whatever you want to call it, all that substance or essence, that exists is Allah. For example, if we're taking it from the religious, especially from the Islamic school of thought, it's just Allah. There's nothing that pre-existed Allah. Nothing, Allah is nothing like its creation or whatever the case is, and there's nothing that was before it, basically. So nothing is before Allah, okay? And Allah is everywhere, every when, and so forth. Like, it's just Allah. That's all that exists. So if something new comes into existence, it can only be from Allah. That's our position. Obviously, you lot have a different position, okay, where you put forward the position, no, nothing, Allah, forms, creates from nothing. And we like, okay, please show us in your Quran where it says that. And so far, nobody can produce that evidence, okay? And me and my brother Shamsi were discussing this. He himself, states that other people are wrong for stating that it doesn't come, it comes from nothing. Clearly it comes from something. When Allah is creating in the Quran, it comes from something, okay? Whether it is clay, whether it's dust, whether it's from smoke, whatever the case is, it comes from something, it comes from water, whatever the case is, it comes from something. So that's the first thing, okay? Because really and truly, there's an argument within inside of the religious circles, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, there's this argument that's been going on, okay? And basically, I think there is like 3 ways of understanding creation. 3 ways of understanding creation. Let me try to break that down for you. The 3 ways is basically ex nihilo, creation ex nihilo. Okay. Second one is creation exo material. Okay. And then the third way is creation exo deos. Okay. So let me break that down to you. Creation exo nihilo literally means creation out of nothing. Okay. Out of nothing, boom, something just pops into existence. That's one way. The second way is creation exo material. Okay. Creation out of some substance, out of some material. Okay. Then the third way is creation exo deos, or out of the deity, basically, out of the essence and substance of the deity itself. So now, what we definitely try to move our religious audience away from, okay, is the thought of creation out of nothing, okay, creation exo nihilo. And why do we do that? Why did we do that? Why did we want to start there and move them away from that? Because we can clearly see that something like it is a logical fallacy, something coming out of nothing. It's impossible. No matter how much of nothing you have, something will never come. You can have nothing plus nothing plus nothing plus nothing plus nothing plus nothing in your hand, and there will always be nothing. Something can never come from nothing. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, you can look around throughout, use your eyes throughout the whole of nature and tell me, can you see something come out of nothing? Even Allah in the Quran makes the same line of reasoning. Do you think you was created, out of nothing? Do you think you created the universe? Them ways there, like, or do you think, something else? I can't remember the third one. I should really get it up to show it to you guys. I will do, hopefully. So, Allah makes that argument. So we're just basically upholding Allah's argument and telling you that something does not come from nothing according to what your religion teaches you. Whether you are a Christian, Jew, or Muslim, it does not teach you that. So please scratch that out of your vocabulary, your logic, your reasoning. Scratch it out. I'm pretty sure like your imams and your sheikh, or shayukh, will agree with me with what we're saying. The much more educated of you guys would have to agree with what we're saying, because you cannot give an instance where something is being created out of nothing. Okay, something is never being created out of nothing. We can use the highest thing within inside of the whole created creation, okay, and that is the heavens and the earth, basically the universe. And Allah says in the Quran that the heavens and the earth came out of smoke. So clearly Allah was utilizing, see, this is something that they don't even know yet, but Allah was clearly utilizing the dukhan, the smoke, in order to create the heavens and the earth. So clearly we know it comes from something. We know as well, Adam was created out of clay, the mother, etc., etc., etc. Every living thing is created out of water, etc., etc., etc. So we know this. So we're trying to push forward the narrative, of exo material, at least, at the very least, at the very, very, very least. Like, you as a Muslim, you should be fine with that. You should have no arguments with creation out of material. Because why? Your Quran tells you creation out of material. So there should be no problem. Now, the next step, I can see that most of us, we have kind of brought the argument, And I can understand where there should and might be a standoff position between our religious Muslim community and our Kemetic community, because there are two different ways of philosophies, okay? And maybe Allah doesn't explicitly teach you inside of the Quran that he created out of himself, okay? Out of deity. So what Gabs has basically done was gave you the analogy of a water and something popping out of the water. You'll have to say where it come from. So I would like to give you my analogy. My personal analogy is this: instead of using a goldfish, which is something might be a bit too abstract for most people's minds to even fathom, I would like to just use water, just water, okay? Just water, a bottle of water that's completely filled up, okay? And then right in the middle of the bottle of water, all of a sudden you saw an ice cube in there. Okay, you saw an ice cube literally floating in the middle of the water. And we'll have to ask you the question, where did the ice cube come from? Okay, it's completely sealed. There's nothing can come in or out of this bottle of water. It's completely sealed. Okay, we can clearly say that the ice cube came from the water. That's like if we just left this water in the freezer and it turned to ice, you would know like it's still water that's inside there basically. Okay, so that's what we're basically saying, that creation comes out of the essence of what we consider deity. That is our own understanding and reasoning. I personally would not force that onto anybody else from a religious standpoint. From a philosophical standpoint, I think you guys should start to understand that which we're saying. Okay, start to understand that which we're saying, because we're not saying something that's so obtuse, that's so mad. Okay, that we're not even doing that. We're not even doing that. And in fact, most Muslims, not most Muslims, there are groups of Muslims that think the same way as us. Okay. They literally think the same way as us. You have the Jamis or Jamhites. Yeah. They literally thought the same way as us. Then you had people like Ibn Taymiyyah and other people from the Salafi school of thought actually arguing against these individuals. But these individuals were there. They were there. Timers of the Mutazilats, the Asharis and so forth. They were there. Then you got another group of people who literally say the same thing as us, which are the Sufis. Yeah, they say exactly the same thing as us. Exactly the same thing as us. So it shouldn't even be something that is, how can I put it, so obtuse, so different from your way of thinking. I'm actually going to do this. I'm actually going to share my screen with you. Okay, so you can see, literally see what we've been saying all this time. So let's go to Sufi mysticism. Okay, there is a concept of wahdat al-wujud, literally means the unity of existence or unity of being. But better translation would be monotheism of existence. Wujud is existence. Here refers to Allah's wujud. Implication is wahdat, tawheed of wujud of Allah. On the other hand, there is another one which we don't deal with, but let's just quickly go down. Y'all could look up on this on Wikipedia, okay? I'm gonna give you something so basic, so simple that everybody here can actually do, and to come to a conclusion, come to see where we have these things. And it's not so foreign if you're a Muslim from your own schools of thought itself. So now we got here, wahdat al-wujud, unity of existence. The philosophy of wahdat al-wujud was first ever prevailed by Hussein ibn Ali in his book Mirat ul-Arifin, which he wrote in response to the questions of his son Zayd al-Abidin, okay, about the explanation of Surah al-Fatiha. Okay, for anybody who knows, Hussein ibn Ali is literally the son, okay, of Ali Abi Talib. Okay, so if you want to just quickly see, this is talking about, Hussein ibn Ali, which is literally the son of Abi Talib. Okay, Ali ibn Abi Talib. Okay, so that's literally the nephew of the Prophet. Okay, the fourth Khalifa. Okay, that is who we're talking about. We're talking about his son. So we're literally talking about an era of, what time was he born? He was born in 625 and he died in 680. Okay, so literally during the time, you can call him a Sahaba, you could even call him a Taba'in. So literally during the time of the Taba'in, this ideology of existence or Allah and its creation being one, yet they're separate, yet they're distinct from each other. Don't get twisted. We're not saying that they're completely the same. We're saying there are distinctions, but they're one. Okay, the unity of existence. It says here, in this book, he interpreted the ideology of Wahdat al-Wujud for the first time in the most comprehensive way. Fortunately, we don't have the citation, but it would be good. I've tried to look up this thing, but it's in Urdu, and I don't speak Urdu, unfortunately, so sorry. After that, the mystical thinker and theologian Abu Sa'id Mubarak Makhzumi discussed this concept. Let's just see quickly what time frame he was in. He was in 1013. Okay, so this is roughly 350 odd years after that time frame. He also discussed it. Okay, and it says here, this concept in his book Tofa Mursala, an Andalusian Sufi saint, Ibn Sabin, is also known to employ this term in his writing, but a Sufi saint who is most characterized in discussing this ideology of Sufi metaphysics in deepest details is Ibn Arabi. He employs the term wujud to refer God as a necessary being. He also attributes the term to everything other than God, but he insists that wujud does not belong to the things found in the cosmos in any real sense. Rather, the things borrow wujud from God, much as the earth borrows light from the sun. The issue is how wujud can rightfully be attributed to things called entities, ayan. From the perspective of Tanzir, Ibn Arabi declares wujud belongs to God alone, and in his famous phrase, things have never smelt a whiff of wujud. Okay. It goes on. I haven't got time to actually go through everything here with you. I haven't got time to go through everything here with you, but it's a very good read, yeah, of this concept that most of you Salafi guys will definitely be familiar with. And you can see it's not something new. For most people thinking it's something new that we're actually saying and it's some big heresy that we're saying, it's not something new. Like, everybody knew this, like, back in the day. Like, this is nothing new. This whole separation psychology, in my personal opinion, I'm going to repeat, my personal opinion, is something completely new. It has to be something new. All right, real quickly, let me break it up a little bit and let me bring in my brothers in. Asar, how you doing, King? All right. Phil, where you at, King?
Imhotep, son. These microphones be taking forever to respond. I'm good, man. I think you're touching them well. I think the problem right now for the Islamic community is not that you're trying to divide, as one of the brothers in the chat would say, but that you don't truly know your Quran. Some of you have to understand you're speaking to former Salafis. You're speaking to former Muslims. You're speaking to people who have tasted your faith, who have dealt with it in the trenches from my father's side. And you are not qualified in most of the cases. You have to be qualified. So the concepts we introduce you to or state to you that are from Kemet, because we know the trace and the path, you just aren't comprehensive of, because you probably haven't read your Quran. Most of you are not Hafiz. Most of you are not sheikhs. And all of you seem to be more knowledgeable than the scholars all of a sudden, which is a no-no. I want to see you go in your masjid and tell your imam, tell the sheikh that you're more knowledgeable than the scholar that you just read. It doesn't happen. And this is really the issue. We're just telling you stuff you should already know. And Kalam is doing a beautiful job. I'm going to shut up most of the night.
Give thanks. We're definitely going to be going into the concept of nun later on. So I definitely want you to jump in on that, because I was given the analogy of nun, and that is literally the analogy, the analogy of waters, and that's literally the analogy that, the ancient Egyptians or the Kemetics or the Remech, actually gave itself to talk about the primordial waters and talk about the deity itself before things started to formulate and come into existence. And hopefully, I don't want to talk past anybody. I want to talk to everybody on their particular level, because to me personally, I think we're all saying the same thing, but we're speaking different languages and we have different, lenses on to perceive things. So hopefully I want to speak to everybody on their same level. If you're dealing with science or natural stuff or natural philosophy or, metaphysics, or if you're dealing with quantum physics and physics and so forth, or theology, I think we all could come to the same understanding and realization. So hopefully I'm going to try to make this very simple for everybody involved, because I think we're all really saying the same thing, but just have different understanding. So let me see if I can break this down to you guys. All right. So number one, I wanted to talk about the Kemetic creed, first of all. I want to talk about the Kemetic Creed, which is literally, let me go to it. Let me go to the Kemetic Creed, and I'm going to speak to you guys about your own creed itself. All right, let's see. Let's get it in. So we've got over here our Kemetic Creed, okay? Kemetic Creed, and it is literally made up of 7 parts. Let me just read it out, because this is like our catechism. It says, what do you believe? No beliefs, just facts. Although we have 7 foundational principles that binds its adherents together, and we call that our Jed pillar. That's our Jed pillar. That's our thing that keeps us stable and will last till eternity, okay? That is what keeps us stable, our 7 things here. And also, it literally means what the terminology for what we're talking about here is called our Ked or Akeda. Okay, what you lot will call your Akida, which is your creed, we call our Ked, our disposition. Literally means our disposition, our nature, the thing that builds us up in terms of character. Okay, this is what we're pushing forward to you guys. And we're going to talk about these 2 principles. Well, and truly, we're talking about 3 principles, but right about now, I'm going to just talk to you guys about these 2 principles. Okay, and I think these 2 principles, we are actually saying the same thing with these 2 principles, but yet we don't even know it. All right. So one of the first principles is gnosis. Okay. Gnosis literally means knowledge, or really and truly, it's a scientific inquiry into nature. Okay. It's a scientific inquiry into nature to come to the realization of what is real within inside of nature. Okay. And with that being said, we have 3 levels or 3 degrees that we go through. Okay. We have know thyself. Okay. Know the universe, or know the mysteries of the universe, and you will know God. These are the 3 levels. And really and truly, we're not even saying saying something different. We're all saying the same thing. We all utilize this, but we don't utilize it. What I mean by that, when it comes to my religious circles, they don't utilize this principle properly. They only deal with faith and belief at more times. But your religion, your deen, your Quran teaches you knowledge. It teaches you knowledge-based claims. And let me go into that. I'm going to show you the 3 degrees within inside of your religion itself and within inside of the Quran. And I'm going to go here to Surah 41, verse 53. So we can all kind of get to the same understanding as each other and kind of use the same method of understanding. Can we do that? I hope we can. So anyways, okay, Surah 41, verse 53. It says here, we will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves, until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. But is it not sufficient concerning your Lord that he is over all things a witness? Okay, this is the key word here, a witness. Now, our first principle is something called gnosis. Your first principle is something called shahada, okay, which is literally comes out of this word here, witness. Okay, literally witness. There you got it there. You got shahid or shahidu, which is really shahid. Okay, so you got the shahid right there, to bear witness. What you guys say is shahada, okay, where you bear witness of these things. Now, our 3-point process is knowing ourselves, yeah, knowing the universe, and then you'll have knowledge of your Lord. These are the 3 parts that we go through. And you go through the same thing, or you're supposed to go through the same thing. You know, you're supposed to go through the same thing. If you lot are really on your deen, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're not meant to be making baseless claims. You're supposed to be observing nature. You're supposed to be observing, going within inside of yourself to find the divine within inside of nature, to find the divine within inside of yourself. And then you can then, and only then, once you've actually gone inside of yourself, and once you've actually observed nature itself, only then should you even take your shahada and bear witness to the unity of the creator within inside of its creation. Let me not do that, because that there is false. Let me actually rephrase that. Only then should you bear witness that there is something metaphysical, something above yourself, above the celestial, so to speak, that unifies itself and demonstrates itself and shows its sign to you. And only then should you then take your shahada to bear witness, la ilaha illallah. I don't think any of us here from the Kemetic side has a problem with your Shahada and with bearing witness that there is only one God. Okay. But we understand the God part completely different, simply because we actually observed ourselves and we observed nature and we came to the conclusion of a deity. What you did as religious people, more times, I'm not saying all of you guys, you lot stepped away from the philosophy side and you lot bared witness that there was a creator, a God, before even looking into nature or looking into yourself to come to that realization and conclusion. You basically took it upon yourself to listen to another man's voice who told you, yep, there is a God and you have to say Shahada, and if you're not, you're going to hell. That's not the way we worked as commissions or the Remech. My brother Asar, if you wanted to break something down on that, please do.
I'll say a verse. I'm gonna start teaching these boys from scripture. This is Coffin Text 7, 469 through 470. I am he in this name. Make way for me that I may see Noon and Amun. I am that equipped spirit who passed by the guards. They do not speak for fear of him whose name is hidden, who is in my body. I know him. I do not ignore him. I am equipped and effective in opening his portal. So Amen is in us. We are created of the noon. As your book tells you, you are created of the waters of the noon. The rule is in you. We know. It's in your book. Your book tells you to come to a common term between us. When the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam is talking to the Jews, come to a common word between us so you can get this understanding from your forefathers. That's all we're telling you. Stop being so howdy. It's all good. It's all love. Ain't nobody trying to disrespect you. We're just showing you clearly that these sections are the same. We are the same. We are one.
Yo, Phil, if you wanted to say something, go ahead, King.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this: we're dealing with people that subscribe to mythos and miracles, so it's gonna be hard to convince them that certain things is logical as well. I try to tell all my fellow Muslim brothers that we witness God through nature. We don't have any other actual uh, proof. Uh, as far as not proof, just yeah. So I just want to say, I get picked on. If something has to come, I don't know anything that just pops out of thin air. And that's basically what I want to say. Shah Shah.
Jeez. All right. So, I really want to make sure that we're not talking past everybody. Again, I want us to all be on the same wavelength. I want us to all agree to, certain simple principles. I know in the Quran, again, it teaches you, we even have this as well. We have the 3 parts of actually acquiring knowledge. I'm sure in your Quran as well, it teaches you these 3 parts. Number 1 is to utilize your akil, your intelligence, your ability to actually reason, logic. Okay, utilize logic. The second part is dhikr, or to reflect. Basically, to reflect is literally another way of saying empirical evidence. Okay, empirical things, like if there's fire right there, you touch it, it's hot. You reflect on it, it's hot. So next time you don't put your hand there. This is empirical evidence that we can see. The Quran teaches about. There is another 3rd way that the Quran teaches about of inquiring knowledge, which we have as Kemetics as well, which is wahay. Okay, wahay literally means basically gaining inspiration. Y'all call it revelations and so forth. Now we have those 3 ways where if you read, let me just show you something here. If you start reading books like this, my Kemetics as well, start reading books like this, the book of Tahuti or the book of Thoth, it basically teaches you these things. It teaches you how to get an ayat. Literally, it tells you how to get an ayat or a sign which is a symbol, which is a revelation. You know, how you capture the Bara'u, which is capture basically the souls of Ra. You know, it teaches you how to do that. The souls of Ra is what you would consider to be angels, or the light, or the power, the manifestation of the deity. How do you now incarnate, or how do you now perceive this information? Like, we have these stuffs here. So things that you lot are talking about, I think we should all be on the same level. And I don't want our Kemetics to speak over the Muslims, and I don't want the Muslims to speak over the Kemetics, because we're all saying the same thing, but because we're coming from different ways, y'all come, you know, we're speaking different languages. We're all speaking English right now, okay? But we're in the paradigm of something else. We're in the paradigm of something else. I want us to come to a common grounds, common agreement, where we can all kind of, you know, use the base things of using our logic, using empirical evidences, using our own scriptures. If you want to use your scriptures as in wahay, or inspiration. But when we say wahay and inspiration, we're talking about really connecting with a divine source. Okay, so if we can utilize our intellect, and we can now observe nature, okay, and we can now observe ourselves, and we can now gain symbols or ayats, or signposts, or representations of what the divine is actually trying to teach us. Yeah, once we can do that, give me a hot second. All right, so once we can do that, we're good, we're fine. So let me try to work with that. Let me try to work with that principle right there. The principle now I'm working with is this. Let me just read. Unfortunately, I can't share my screen on this. I actually want to talk about the principle of Nun. We spoke about this before, which is the waters. So I want to go into the waters right now. We said here, the beginning of all beginnings was Nun. This was the name given to the primal absolute mass of water, container of all seeds, home to all creative potential. This was a sort of all-encompassing ocean existing before any form of life known to us. It predated all motion as we understand it. It was reality before the universe. We know, already pregnant with the raw material of creation in a latent state. Here was the chaotic medium of incipient forms, the unshaped, pre-temporal manifestation of the creator God. Okay? So right now, for those who don't know what I'm actually reading from, let me try to show you guys what I'm reading from. Apologies. So I'm actually reading from this. This is something called African Philosophy by Theophile Benga. Okay. And I'm actually reading from page 45. Page 45. So what I'm doing to you right now is actually giving you, when we're talking about the water in the bottle earlier on, we're now bringing it to you, showing you to from the Kemetic thought. This is how we was philosophizing, okay? Exactly the same thing where we're using something that is so literal like this to make the analogy. We're now reading from our own text to tell you what we were saying by this analogy, okay? And it says here, Genesis was the constitution of the cosmos in its present form. The process began with the primal waters, a reality older than the creator God, who emerged from these very primal waters. Indeed, it was within this primal chaos that the demiurge achieved consciousness of self. Only after the rise to self-consciousness did the demiurge come into real existence on its own and by itself. Then it began to work. From the perspective of an ancient Egyptian pharaonic philosophy, then all the components of the world as it is now is God, gods and stars, sky and earths, the world of the living, and the abode of the dead. In short, every dimension of existence had a starting point, a genesis, what we will say in the Arabic language, a bada'ah, you know, a bada'ah, an origin point. Okay, the one exception was Nun, which you would consider to be your Allah, technically. Okay, technically, I'll say that. The absolute reality of the primal waters, the existence of Nun, was posited as such. In its sheer absolute quality, Nun was the uncreated reality of moist, watery, abyssal depths, fecundating, I can't even pronounce that, and creative. What such philosophical ideas means to a rural agrarian society, it is well known that in the cosmologies of Black African society, water is of central importance. Goes on to something else now. So what I'm trying to say to you with that, to be honest with you, is I don't even want to go too in depth with your own way of thinking. But if we can just imagine this boundless force, this boundless water, all that exists is water. Let's just say a whole sea full of water. There's nothing else in existence but this water. Like this right here, when we said this is all there is, the nun, the water, right? That's all that exists. It has all the potentiality. It has the potential to be Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Qudus, Al-Salam, Al-Barrio, Al-Muttasawiru, all of the attributes, all of the names and attributes of Allah. Let's just say it had all of that potentiality. Okay. For example, I'm going to go into my atheists and my quantum physicians. Okay. We're talking about the quantum field, that all potential possibilities, all energy, all mass, all space, all time, before it even became space and time and mass and energy and all those things there. We're talking about that quantum field, that blackness or that darkness, or that where we can't even see, the unknown, the unseen, the Amun principle, the hidden, the dark principle, that Kek principle, that Nun principle, that boundless potentiality. You with me? That boundless potentiality, Ho and Hohet principle, the boundless infinity, eternity. We're talking about existence itself. We're just talking about existence itself, where all possibility is capable of taking place. Okay? What takes place next? What actually happens next in that quantum field? For those of you who don't know, there is a quantum fluctuation. There's a fluctuation that takes place that now births the universe. Okay? There's that comes into being. There is a movement. When we go into philosophy yet again, and we go into metaphysics, so I'm going to go into the different levels now. So that's from scientific perspective. Now onto metaphysical perspective, you have something called a prime mover. Okay. But where Aristotle or some people may have lost it is where the prime mover is moving, but what is it moving in? And we're saying the prime mover is moving within inside of the nun and within inside of the waters. Okay. It's moving within it. So it's moving, but it's not moving anywhere because it's just moving inside itself. It's merely changing within inside of itself. Does that make sense? It hasn't even begun to move anything else because there's nothing else to move. It's just itself. You with me? And let's go now into Allah itself. Allah, before he began to create, he was always the creator in potentiality, just not yet in actuality. Does that make sense? He was the creator in potentiality, not in actuality. He was Al-Rahman in potentiality, but not in actuality. He was Al-Wadud, the loving, in potentiality, but not in actuality. He was Al-Malik, the king, in potentiality, but not in actuality. What do I mean by this? He had nothing to be merciful or gracious towards until he started the movement of creating something else outside, yet inside of itself, to be merciful to. Hopefully that makes sense. So at the point of actualizing his attributes, that's when he comes to be Allah proper in that sense, or when he becomes El Khalik proper, when he actually creates and there is something created and there was a process of creation. That's the three parts. Okay, you have the noun or the thing proper, the subject proper, the creator. We have the object, the created, and we have the process in between, which is the verb creation. You with me? Okay, so this prime mover is the Nun principle within inside of Kemet. And within inside of Kemet, we now have the Kheper principle, that principle where that transformation is taking place. That transformation takes place, and then it becomes the Atum or the Ra principle, where it now becomes something else. It has fully moved. It has fully become something else. Now, let me try to make that make more sense to you guys from a Kemetic principality yet again. So we have the waters. Let me do this. We have a full waters. We have full waters right here, right here. There's nothing else but the waters. Like there's nothing else but Nun. There's nothing else but the quantum field. Okay. And then all of a sudden, within inside of the waters, something starts to move, starts to change. It starts to, do something different. And now in the middle of these waters is an ice cube. In the middle of the waters, floating in the middle of these waters is an ice cube. Okay. Let me now try to make that sense inside of Kemet for you, so you lot can see it. Now, with inside of Kemet, yet again, is that atom principle. He now moves. He now creates something called Shu, which is a space, which is a circulate, where he now manifests all of itself within inside of itself. So in a little space of Nun, in the four corners of Nun, there is now something. There's a world, there's a universe, there's a circular coming into existence. Obviously, there's a lot more that's going to take place. For those of you guys who know your Ennead or your Passaget, you know that there is obviously Atum, then there is Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Set, Asar, Nebthet, Sotuch, Haru. But we haven't even got into the principle of Shu and Tefnut. Shu, when he creates the space, Tefnut, when he creates the moisture and the laws and Ma'at and so forth. And then after that principle of coming together and merging and doing all sorts together, then a new principle is created, which is Nut, which is the universe, or which is the skies itself. Then after that, Geb, which is the earth, is then created. And so far, I don't even want to go in too deep. Damn it, I think I'm going in too deep. I don't want to lose nobody. So we have that principle anyway. We have that atom principle where something now moves and something is created. But that created principle is now distinct, different, yet same in essence and substance as the Nun. What do I mean by that? With inside of the waters, okay, the Nun, okay, the ice cube popped up into existence or moved and changed because of the change in flow of energy, because the change in flow of the coldness or the temperature started to drop. Okay, the gravitational pull just kept it in the middle somehow, you know, and now the forces, the strong and the weak forces, are moving it, and it's just stable inside of the middle right there. Now that is the birth of your universe, so to speak. That's the birth of something which is distinct from the creator. Okay, is distinct, but it's just an emanation of the creator. So the ice cube is still water. It's still made up of water. What I'm trying to say by this is the universe, okay? The universe is the universe. It's completely separate from what you would consider to be the creator. It's distinct from the creator in the sense it is now something that's finite, but it's still made up of the essence of the water. Just like the ice cube has a point of origin, meaning it is finite, meaning that it can actually dissipate back into the waters again. It could literally melt back into the waters, but it doesn't affect the waters. It doesn't change the waters. It doesn't add to the waters. Neither does it take away from the waters. It's still the waters. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm speaking past everybody. I'm actually going to ask for some crowd participation in a minute, but it's still the waters. So what we're saying right now is the universe, okay? Though it is finite, though it is another form, okay? Now it is solid form rather than being ephemeral like the waters, it can still dissipate back in. For example, the dust of the earth or the body now dissipates back into the earth again. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. In the Quran, it tells you that your body will go back to the earth, but your soul will go back to Allah. You with me? So this dissipation takes place, but it's neither adding to something or taking away from something. It's merely melting and molding back into itself. Anyways, Asar, I see you wanted to come to you, my brother.
I was going to add the analogy. Dang, I forgot my analogy. When water turns to vapor, it's the same thing. If it's heated up, it turns to vapor, and then when it cools back down, it turns back to water. In other words, all things come from the creator as a physicality. I know a lot of the Shia and Sufi and are jumping to the Salafi Tawheed system, but you have to look in depth at your system and make sure that that correlates when you step on the world stage with this particular discussion. So when we talk Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let me tell you from a standpoint of Sheikh Ahmed Didat. He asked Anna Sharush, he said, can God kick you out of the universe? And he said, yes. Then he said, where could he put you? He said, hell. He said, who runs hell? God, Allah. So you can't go outside of your creator from any standpoint, whether you consider yourself a thought in the creator's mind or whether you consider yourself a physical part of the creator. You cannot escape the reality of being a part of the creator. Otherwise, you suggest an alternate reality. And that can't be, because you can't add or subtract to God.
Man just dropped the bomb and just left it like that, Chase. All right. So you know what? Let me just quickly do something real quickly. I want to share my screen again because I want to make sure I'm just dropping stuff that y'all can see what we're saying, and hopefully it can be like a point of protocol for all of you guys. So right here, we literally have our theology. This is our next part, which is we talk about the oneness of God. We've got this already. I don't know why you guys don't even understand this. So just the way, let me go into it. God is one and the creator of all things, which continue to depend on God as elements in a hierarchy of beings. So with the analogy that the water, all there is this water. I'm gonna lift up the water that you lot can see it, but you lot can hear it, right? All there is the water. It's one, okay? And it's the creator of all things. It's the transformer of all things. It's the molder of all things. And then all things continue to depend on God as elements in a hierarchy of beings. What do I mean by this? The ice in the middle of, or the ice cube in the middle of the water cannot exist independent of itself. It still needs the water for its existence to be. The form of the ice cube cannot exist without the water being there. This is what we're saying. This is what we're saying. So I don't know if you're not catching it, what we're saying correctly, or you're not, because sometimes I don't know if we're talking over you guys or you guys are just willfully being ignorant of what we're saying. I don't know. So I need you lot to help us out and, question us. If it doesn't make sense to us, come in and let us make it make sense to you. So I'll post the link. Okay. I'll post the link. So if you lot would like to join in, come in and join in. Who did we have earlier on that joined in but skirted out of there? We had Brother Malik joined in earlier on. Brother Malik, if you'd like to come back in again, come back in again. You with me? Come back in again. Because we're not saying anything that is so distinct when really not. And I hope, I don't think we are. I really don't think we are. I think let me just see. Let's see if my Siki brother, Harry, how long you been watching this show right now? This particular show?
Yo, like 10 minutes, yo.
10 minutes.
I just been in and out.
Did you hear what we was talking about?
Yeah, about the something about the waters, God creating out the waters.
So from a Siki point of view, does it make sense or does it not make sense?
Yeah, the Guru actually speaks to that. He says, God created life, or he created air out of the water, and from the water came life. So yeah, I get that still.
All right. So I'm gonna just be asking, just seeing if everybody's getting this. So that's a Sikh brother that's getting it. I want to see if a Christian brother's got it. Because I know one Christian brother dropped some science, or was he Hebrew Israelite, dropped some science. I think he was from Philippines. I don't know, wherever that was from. And he was talking about, God, we're all in God, we move through God and or something, or God moves through us and we're in God and all that talk there. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling Christianity, G. I'm liking what he's saying. Because we can see it, we can vibes with it, we can observe it within inside of nature itself, we can observe it within inside of ourselves itself, and it makes sense. But I want to know if it's making sense for everybody else. So who we got in here right now? We got Brother Phil. I see you got your mic opened, so I'll let you go next.
Yep.
And I'm gonna let Gabs and then my brother Stan, who's there as well. Go ahead, King.
God created the circle of life, right? You see, we got a beautiful rose here, right? It didn't just pop out of nowhere. It needed some components, right? So God that creates the circle of life made sure it had the right components. We had to go to the dirt. What's the dirt made of? The dirt made of dead leaves, eroded rock, right? It's also dead of bugs and things of that nature. That is the nutrients that bring this. So, in essence, God knew that in order for life to be continuous, it had to be a circulatory system. So, remember that. So, all that is basically saying, what Kalam is saying is everything is derived from each other in its atmosphere. So, with the eroded rock, with the dead leaves, with the dead bugs, it creates nutrients for plants and seeds. That's something that God had to create in order to keep life circulating. All right. So everything needs something. This is what Kalam is basically saying. Nothing just pops out of thin air. Things are derived from each other, whether it's language, whether it's vegetation, whether it's just the air that we breathe. It takes some nitrogen, it takes some carbon, and it takes some water, things like that to make oxygen. So without the components or that cycle of elements, we wouldn't be able to breathe. And that's just what I gotta say.
Jeez, everybody's just dropping that hard body knowledge right about now. So you saying, Gabs, medicine man, resident. What you saying? I like that smile. Ayo,
Oh,
medicine man.
yes, yes. Peace. What's happening? What's happening, bro?
All good, man. All good, man. Talk to us. Talk to us. Just put that phone on silent and come in and talk to us, King.
Yeah, man, I'm there now. Just put it on. What was I gonna say? Obviously, I just come in now. Obviously, I can see what we're talking about. I think topics about the waters and stuff. Me personally, from what I get from that, I use a physical analogy with that, and that's just dealing with every human. Every human being on this planet come through the waters. Do you know what I mean? And that's the waters of the woman, of the female. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would say the God in the physical had to come through the waters the same way. You know what I mean? The God in Kemetic philosophy, and also God in the religions dealing with the water. Yeah, he created himself out the waters. Everything comes through the waters. Do you see what I'm saying? So I just see that same analogy. Us human beings having to come through the waters. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just same as above, so below. If we're the gods that need the water to come through, the same way the creator is gonna need the waters to come through. So that's how I see it. And it's funny because we was talking about this. It's funny how Christianity, Islam, and even Kemetic philosophy all deal with this concept of these waters. You know what I mean? These waters is just infinite. Some infinite waters out there that the creator had to create from. So it's some good similarities there. But that's my only 2 pence for now. You feel me?
Jeez. You know, I got some science for that, yeah. But I didn't want to go into deep. Because you're right. You know, we've got Quran, Quran Islam teaches you that Allah was not hovering, sorry about that. Allah istawa. He rose above his throne, which is over the waters. Right? Above the waters. Okay. Then we have also the Hebraic text, which is the Torah, and I'm sure Christians will agree with this. God was hovering over the waters, or the deep of the waters, in the beginning as well. We have this concept of the waters there. The waters is always there, and they're always ascending or being over this water. You know, obviously, I don't even want to go there, but if it's hovering or ascending over the waters, what was his action prior to ascending? Or where must you be prior to ascending over the waters? That's the question. If you were to use your logic right now, where were you if you are now ascending over the waters or rising above the waters? Where were you before? Where were you before?
In the waters.
That's it. You could only be in the waters, underneath the waters, because you're rising above the waters. You know what I'm saying? There, like, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. All right, cool. So, but I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there with them because stuck for Allah. That's not, it's that is now the matter of the ghaib. That's the matter of the unseen. You have no knowledge of this because you've only been given a little bit of knowledge. Okay, and I don't want to go there with you because I might lose you and I might send you into heresy. But obviously, from a Kemetic standpoint, we know that atom principle originated in the waters. We know this. But yet again, he rose, or it rose above the waters. He didn't simply want to be one with the waters like that. What I mean by that, he didn't simply want to not create something or not move. He wanted to move. It wanted some action of motion. And then after it rose above the waters, it set up shop on its primordial mound, which is known to be its temple, its throne, its seat of authority and power, where you see him on his throne and you see him, on his arash. I'm going to use Arabic terms right now. You can see him on his arash, and you can see him with his kursi, which is his, what's that plinth called? The footstool. You got the footstool, and you see him there, and he's giving orders, and he's calling Shu and Tefnut out of its mouth. Them ways there. And then after that, he's separating Gebenut from each other, separating Gebenut and putting Shu in the middle to hold up the heavens.
Whoa. They not getting initiated tonight.
For real. And the wicked,
trust me.
That medicine, baby.
That's that
Don't
medicine,
get all to a hold up.
and everything that we're saying right now is not even foreign, because we've got the same principle within inside of the Quran. It clearly tells you that Allah separated the heavens and the earth from each other. And he's lifting it, or it's being lifted up. The heavens is being lifted up in strength. We've got this already. The Bible teaches the same thing as well. It's nothing new. We're all saying the same thing, but unfortunately, we don't take time out to actually fully listen and hear and understand and empathize with each other. We don't do that. So hopefully today we can start doing that. Let's build, man. I'm up for building instead of destroying, man. Let's build. Although sometimes you do need to destroy to be able to build, because I know both of us, again, we both deal with this concept of ma'at. Okay, we have the concept. Let me just quickly share my screen real quickly. Let me just share my screen.
As well, I was, because it was very peak what you just brought up there with Gemnut. Please, if you could get that visuals up so that people see Gemnut and Newt holding up in between the heavens and the earth.
Definitely, I'll do that. So
people can see the visuals
and see. We've got this concept here. It says here, "What is your religion?" There is no word in the Kemetic language for religion, but the closest understanding we have for the term religion is ma'at, order. Ma'at is the concept that embodies and inculcates the principles of truth, justice, reciprocity, balancement, equality, harmony, life, and abundance. Its adherents are bound by duty to realize ma'at and to destroy isfet. Now, let me substitute ma'at for, as we clearly know, it means truth. Where do we have it here? We know that ma'at means truth, okay? And isfet literally means lies or falsehood. So let me substitute that and literally say, we're saying that truth will prevail and lies shall be destroyed, okay? And you've got that same concept within inside of Islam. So something that we're saying right now, it shouldn't be so foreign to you. Okay, I'm going to try to break this stuff down so we're all on common foot. We're all on common understanding, because technically speaking, if we really try to come down to a level with each other, we're all saying the same thing. Yeah, we're all saying the same thing. So, my brother, you said you wanted Gebenut, right? Is that what you wanted?
Yeah. Please can you show the visuals of that, because it's good to show the visuals, because remember, we have these visuals. And that's one thing, that I'm happy with the research and the archaeologists that are able to get most of the information and the glyphs. Like the ancestors etched everything on the wall so we can still see it, because a lot of us did get bumped on the head and we've lost a bit of the knowledge, but they knew that time was going to come, so they had to etch everything in stone. So I'm glad that we can show what we're actually talking about. Whereas religion, you can't really get no pictures and stuff showing what they're actually saying, but it's good. So break down this. Or even brother Asar, where you at, Asar? I know you there. Break them down. I know we're giving them too much medicine, but
I'm gonna give them a tad bit. Here, I'll go from, this is my book and it's free online, The Virtues of Ma'at. I'm gonna read the text from Nes Menu, who gives you one of the creation stories. He says, these are the words coming to, he says, "I am he who came into being in the form of the Necha Kepara. I am the creator of that which came into being. That is to say, I am the creator of everything which came into being. Now the things which I created and which came forth out of my mouth after that I had come into being myself were exceedingly many. The sky or heaven had not come into being. The earth did not exist, and the children of the earth and the creeping things had not been made at that time. I myself raised them up from out of new, from a state of helpless inertness. I found no place whereon I could stand. I worked a charm upon my own heart or will, and I laid the foundation of things by my art, and I made everything which had form.
Jeez. This is just, you know, drop the mic season, you know, drop the mic season. That's what it is. I could just say drop the mic season, but we got it right here. As you can see, y'all can see this is the heavens. Yeah, this is the sky right here with all its multiplicity of stars. Okay, then we got the earth right here as well. Okay, but in our teachings prior to that, they were perpetually together because they loved each other. All right, but guess what? Shu, their father, had to separate them from each other. So the sky and the earth had to be separated by the air. The sky and the earth had to be separated by the air and space for a basic understanding, you know? But that's it. I don't know if you wanted to go into much more detail than that. You know, we can start breaking extra stuff down, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Let's give him a little bit. Say Ra Nabat right there. You got you see Heru Ra riding the boat. You see him crossing the sky. You see him walking the waters, so to speak, or riding.
That's what I was meant to speak.
Yeah, Jesus walking the waters, the sun going across the watery sky. You understand? I'm not trying to leave y'all out tonight. You see Seb laying sideways. That is the earth. That is the physical earth. Shu is the atmosphere. Shu and Tefnut. And Nut is above that because Shu lifted her up, raised her up. Ra is on her back. The story where God destroys the earth because he's mad. We had Sekhmet destroy the earth because Ra got mad, and then he stopped her. And then he created wine that looked red like blood, and she got tipsy. When she got tipsy, well, we started to celebrate the new year. That's real facts right there. I'm just giving you how it started.
Medicine. Gabs, do you want to say something?
Nah, do you know what? Yeah, the brother Sar slapped it right on the nail, you know, because that's what I was going to talk about. You know, you got the boats there. You know what I mean? If you got a boat, what's the boat meant to be riding on? It's meant to be riding on the waters, B. These are the same waters that we're talking about. So as you can see, you know, the brother Assad broke it down nicely. You know, we have the pictures here. The ancestors cared about us enough to leave the pictures and the drawings for us because they knew there'll be a point that we'll forget. Do you know what I mean? Or if someone's just telling you a story with no pictures, it's hard for you to understand. That's why I always say to the brothers and sisters, to understand Kemet, you have to realize it's like school. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like school education. When you was a child and you went to school, nursery, the first thing the teacher was reading you was stories with pictures. There was just pictures. Then they can start reading and reading. Do you know what I mean? So the pictures, you know that saying, pictures worth 1,000 words. So, you know what I mean? The ancestors had to put this stuff for us so we could break down the sciences and understand. Do you know what I mean? So like, for instance, if we was to go to, I don't know, the story in the Bible of God hovering the waters and stuff, where can we see the pictures? Where can we see where they're getting the story from? Where can we see the sciences? You see that? If we was to go into the Quran now, where God rose above his water, above his throne, out the waters, where can we see that? Where can we see to illustrate that? We can't, but see, but when we're dealing with Kemet now, and we're giving you the same knowledge and the same stories, look, there's pictures, there's evidence to go with it, to show you, to give you more understanding. So we're in Islam where they say all the information on that subject matter, they also says go and seek the knowledge because you will go out there and find it. Doesn't mean that the knowledge is lost. it means you have to go to some other people that have that knowledge. So come back to Kemet. We got it here. Do you know what I mean? We got it. He didn't say the knowledge was lost to the world. It just means that the guys that got the Quran didn't get the full knowledge. So all we're saying is come back home and deal with the root. Deal with nursery. You know what I mean? You don't just run and go straight to university as a child. You know what I mean? You got to take pigeon steps. Nursery, primary school, secondary school, college, then you get to uni. So this is what we're saying. Come and deal with nursery. Come deal with the roots. You know? Yeah? That's what we're saying, man.
There you go, fam. There you go. You dropped it, bruv. You dropped it right there. You know, Allah tells you, you know, I've created you in different tribes and different nations, so you will get to know each other. Come and get to know us. Get to know the knowledge and information that Allah, let's say, gave to us. Come and see. Come and see what we're dealing with. That's what I'm going to say to you. Yes, family.
I believe being that they see our mythos is looking like that's the reason why they're chastising it and nitpicking at it, because they don't understand. Like I said, if I was to teach my child about the birds and the bees, you think I'm gonna sit here and tell, like my son, oh well, life starts in your testes and then it goes through the seminal ventricle and then there's something called the vas deferens that's like a flap. So between your urine and the sperm, that it's a flap that goes over to determine. Like you think who's gonna understand that? So we create a mythos behind the science so it's easily digestible. Now, another thing is we also know there's a creator. So when we watch things like a caterpillar turn into a butterfly, that's a sign of God to us. You understand? Because we're watching things uh, before, right as it happens, birth, childbirth, things like that. We'll perceive it as a miracle. You understand? And that's how the Ankh was created. You understand? Because we witness these miracles. First of all, when you have a lush place like Egypt, you have time to think of these things because there's food everywhere. There's abundance of our resources everywhere. So we have time to ponder and map the stars. We have time to survey the ground and see what could be grown. And we have time to detail what each plant could do to the person. Oh, this one brings euphoria. Oh, he can't eat that. He died. You understand? So when it comes to being within the Kemet faith, or system, I would like to say system, you can basically cultivate a civilization. You can take care of a civilization. You can lead one because you know where to plant, you know what grounds is sturdy enough for the engineering, because you studied these things, you witnessed these things. And when it comes down to the miracles, you're going to watch the miracles all around you. You understand? So that's the main thing that the Egyptians tried to encapsulate within the people, and they put it on the walls because they also knew that people come destroy things through past wars that they had with their brothers in the Nubia, in the Nubia. So they know people destroy things in war. So they created these big walls with the literature as well as the lifestyle that they lived in order, because you can't destroy the wall like that. Not like that. If that was the case, Napoleon would have blew up the Sphinx, but it took a whole lot of cannonballs, and it didn't make sense. So he just shot the nose off, and that was it. But we 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 embody everything that the Earth is about, and I don't know if other civilizations do, because through their doctrine they're destroying the Earth, and that's just what I see, unless they're imposters, and that's all I want to say.
Ashay to that. Listen, we ain't got much time left in the show because I definitely want to leave it as palatable and as short as possible and as succinct as possible so more people actually get to watch this particular show. But what I would like to do now is my Moorish brother, man. This is like the only Muslim brother we actually have on the panel, I believe. Stan, are you there as well? Brother Stan, you there? Let me know. All right.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, King. Let me get my Moorish brother on first, and then do you want anything to say as well?
No, not too much. Just listening, enjoying the chat right now, man. Interesting concepts, yeah, because I'm a Christian as well, and It was interesting seeing the concept of, because I remember the bit about hovering over the waters, so it's nice to sort of get the Kemet understanding of how you see that. But yeah, nothing major to add.
Beautiful, beautiful. Because I love this diversity, you know. This is what I'm talking about. That's my philosophy right there, you know. We can all be one together and we can all remain individuals together. We don't need to all have the same way of thinking. We can all have our own culture, our own identity, our own religion, our own philosophy, and so forth. We got, you know, ex-Jew or Jewish, but atheist. We've got, you know, a Christian up in the building. We've got African philosophy, Black consciousness up in the building. We've got Moors in the building. We've got Kemet in the building. We've got Sikhi in the building. It's all love. This is what I'm talking about, you know. For me, I'm happy and I'm proud of this right here, because when I look around, I don't see this anywhere else. I don't see anywhere else, to be honest with you, only on here. Places, forums like this, with people that are open-minded enough, that can share ideas and ideals with each other to help each other to grow and learn. Like, this is so beautiful, man. Please, family members, like, can we get some thumbs up in the building? Hit up the thumbs up, hit up the thumbs up. Let us know that you're enjoying the show, man. Let us know that you actually like the show and you're enjoying it and you love what Talk with the Titans and Titans TV actually stands for. Please, family, if y'all want to hit the donate button as well, y'all hit the donate button. Yeah. We need to keep the lights on. Anyways, Harry, no, sorry, not Harry, Moorish brother, my Moorish Dawa brother. Go ahead, King.
Islam. I rise in praises to Allah, and I give honors to all true and divine prophets, including the Kemetic prophets. Because as you stated earlier, the Quran states that we were created out of a single pair of male and female into many nations and tribes, that we may know each other and not despise the other. I mean, it also states that every nation is given a messenger. So we can't front like Kemet was not given a messenger and that they don't have Tawheed. But what I really want to know is which one of these cats like Shamsa and Muhammad Tawheed and whatnot are the new prophet of Islam, because they want to rewrite the Quran and rewrite the whole religion of Islam, because they're trying to front like the Quran doesn't say what it says. Like Surah 21, Ayah 30 is not there talking about Allah created from water, and that Surah 24, Ayah 45 is not there talking about Allah created from water. I can go into another one, but real talk, which one of these cats is the new prophet of Islam? Because they're bringing a whole new message at this point. Not only that, I want to give props to you and Gabs for holding your composure, as these cats are just coming through slandering y'all when y'all are trying to give them dawah. And it seems like they're mad because Brother Salwa called them or said that you're their father at one point, or that as African people we're their fathers at one point. But real talk, y'all are doing work like parents and trying to educate the children. So man, props to y'all off the top. But real talk, Gabs got him, and Shamsa exposed himself, and he admitted off the top that Allah created from the word be, his utterance, same thing as his breath, right? His holy breath, the Ruh al-Qudus, his Holy Spirit, right? And this is the part of Allah that is able to exist with inside of existence. All of you Muslims and Muslims are talking about that he can't exist within his existence. Come on, fam, you're putting a limitation on Allah. And if he can't, this is what I want to know. We all have a soul, and it says that the soul returns back to Allah. So if the soul is not a part of Allah, and Allah can't exist within the existence through the soul, what returns back to Allah?
Jeez.
Woo!
Woo!
God damn.
And off the top, real talk. So he used the concept of brother Jesus, right? Prophet Jesus and Prophet Adam and whatnot, right? Talking about they were created with the word be. So if Adam was created with something physical, right? Jesus wasn't created with something physical. He was just created with the word be. And it says he was raised back. He was raised back to Allah. So you got to explain to me, if the soul is not part of Allah, and it says that Jesus was the spirit of Allah and the word of Allah, how does it not return back? Because y'all created this whole new, you created this whole new religion. Nobody goes to Jannah anymore. What is that about?
Power
Medicine. That's Moorish medicine, you know. That's that more medicine. You know, you want more medicine, that's more medicine, you know?
Love it, love it. Let me just give a quick shout outs to one of our supporters and donators. Shout outs to Jonathan Bailey. Shout outs to you, King. And please leave a message. Let us know what you got to say, you know, how your thoughts on Titans TV as well when you donate. So thank you for Jonathan Bailey for actually donating, showing that love, man, showing that love and support. Let's see. I think we've literally Pio, where you at, King? Do you have anything to say?
Oh, I especially said I don't want to take the part in conversation now because it's not really my my specialty. So I wanted to leave you until that point I can talk. Okay. But love and peace to you all, and thank you, and especially to brother Morish. I saw his video where he explained all the things he just said now, and I liked it because it was very different to the opinions of the Muslim at the park, and I liked it. So this is it for now.
Shouts out to my Moorish brother. Love that, man. Islam King. So you know what? We've actually reached the end of this particular show. I'm wondering if y'all want me to do another show after this, okay? If y'all want me to do another show after this, let me know. But I definitely want to close down this particular show so as though we can have a nice, short show instead of like 2.5, 3 hours like we normally do. It's not good because I know people don't really get to watch the whole shows. So I'm literally going to shut it down right now. But if you would like to just join this panel real quickly so you can get the next link for the next show, let me know, okay? I've sent out the link via the chat room. So if you want to jump in, let me know, family. Let me know before it's too late. Maku's in the building. That's perfect. So y'all coming through. We're going to do a next show hopefully very soon. So I'm going to close it out right now, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Love, peace. Any last minute announcements before I close it?
Yeah, this is the brother.
Now you got to do it. You got Christians, Moors, atheists, Sikhs in here. You got to do another show, yo. Got it. All
right, cool. We're going to go live, baby. We're going to go live. All right. See you lot very soon. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Hey, real quick. I did a video on SLM TV responding to Brother Shams real quick. So everyone go check that out real quick when you got time. Please
hold on. Let me just quickly do this.
Put the link in, Brother Moore.
Yeah, put the link in so I can put it up on my channel real quickly. This is free promotion, baby. Free promotion. We got over, we're gonna get enough views on this channel. So let's get it. Let's get your promotion in, King.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram still. Prince of Punjab.
And I continue to be.
See, SLM TV. Man, it's difficult to get your stuff up. Let me see. Oh, there it is. All right, let me share my screen right now. Hold on, family. Let me make sure it's just this particular one. All right, cool. So right here, as you can see, it's SLM TV. If you type it in your Google search, you just have to go a little bit further down. Subscribe to that straight away. Hit that bell icon as well so you make sure you can get your notifications in. And obviously you click onto it. And as you can see here, Moorish Dawah response to Brother Shamsi. All right. Posted this about 1 hour ago. And you can go and check up on his channel, all the different ones he's done. So there's about 4 different videos so far up on the channel. Please check out the brother's responses. They are epic, to be honest with you. They really are epic. So please check them out. And hopefully I'm going to have some time to check some of these out as well. All right, family. So I think that was it. That was it, really. Yeah, man. Let me close it down. Let me close it down, family. I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace and love.